Hello and welcome back to Cowboy Insiders. If you are a true fan of American team, which is a Dallas Cowboy, this is where a passion meets insight, where every rumors matters, and where every draft picks could shape the future of the Dallas Cowboy. So, first of all, welcome back to this channel to everyone who keeps coming back, supporting, sharing, and leading with us through every high and low. And if you are new here, you have just joined one of the most passionate fan base in all of sport. This is more than just a football. This is a legacy, expectations, and a constant pursuit of a greatness. So today we are diving a deep into one of the most exciting and unpredictable times of the year, the NFL draft season. The anticipation is building, a mock draft and are evolving a daily, and a Dallas Cowboy are once again at the center of attention as they prepare to make a decision that could define the next chapter of the franchise. The NFL draft is not just about adding a player. It's about filling the gaps in the teams, correcting a past mistakes, and building a roster capable of making a deep playoff run. So for our team, which is a Dallas Cowboy, the pressure is always amplified. Every move is analyzed and every pick is debated in the fans and in the media. And every miss is remembered. Coming into this draft cycle, the Cowboys have a clear needs. Despite being competitive in recent season, there are still critical areas that need reinforcement. Offensive line depth and long-term stability, defensive playmakers, especially in secondary, and a wide receiver depth behind their top target. And also, the Dallas need to make a running back option depending on a roster decisions. A mock draft across the league are trying to predict what the Dallas will do, but one thing's in certain, this team cannot afford to miss. So for the mock draft trends and what experts are saying on the Dallas Cowboys NFL draft of this year, across the multiple mock draft, a few consistent pattern are emerging when it comes to a Dallas. Number one is our offensive line reinforcement. Many analysts believe that the Dallas Cowboys will prioritize protecting their quarterback and rebuilding a dominance in a trenches. Names like elite college tacklers and guards are frequently linked to a Dallas. The idea is simple in the Dallas. Control the line of scrimmage, dominate physically, and return to a more balanced offensive identity. This strategy reflects the philosophy that once defined a Cowboys during their most successful years. A strong offensive line and leading to explosive offenses. The second upgrade is a secondary focus in defensive. While Dallas has had flashes of defensive brilliance, inconsistency in the secondary has cost them in a big moment. Several mock draft project cornerbacks or safeties landing in a Dallas. Players who bring a speed, awareness, and a stability to create a turnovers. The modern NFL is pass heavy, and if the Cowboys want to compete with elite teams, they need a defenders who can match up against a top tier receivers. So another popular direction in a mock draft is adding offensive weapons. Whether it's a wide receiver with a game-breaking speed or versatile running back, a Dallas could look to give their offense more explosiveness. there is a growing belief that the Cowboys need another dynamic playmaker, someone who can change the games instantly and take a pressure off the passing game in the Dallas Cowboys. So, the Jerry Jones factor for NFL draft this season in the Dallas Cowboys. So, Jerry Jones, there is no discussions about the Cowboys. Is complete without mentioning a Jerry Jones. His influence on draft decision is legendary. So sometimes bold, sometimes controversial, but always impactful for the team. So the Jerry Jones is known for making unexpected moves, and that unpredictability adds another layers of excitement to every mock draft. Analysts can project all they want, but when draft night arrives, the Dallas often surprise everyone. So in the perfect roles, the Cowboys walk away from this draft with a starting calibers offensive lineman and a defensive playmakers ready to contribute, and immediately a high upside skills players can develop into a star. But there is also some leaks that affect the Dallas Cowboy in these NFL draft mocks. Reaching for a players, ignoring key needs, or failing to adapt as a draft unfolds could leave a Dallas in difficult position. This means the NFL draft is unpredictable and even the best teams can walk away with disappointing results. For a franchise with a championship expectations, anything less than a strong draft class will raise a serious questions. So, so as we move on close to NFL this draft, those tension, speculation, and excitement surrounding the Dallas are reaching another level inside the league cycle, and things are starting to take a shape. Front officers are finalizing their board's private workout are wrapping up, and the Dallas, this is where a little strategy begins. Not just a guesswork. What makes this year different is that the Cowboys are not just looking for depth, they are looking for impact. This is a team that believes it is a closer to competing at the highest level in the NFL, and the draft is being treated as the weapon to push them over an edge for a Super Bowl. So there is the latest developments around the Dallas draft strategy. Number one is a heavy focus on offensive line to rebuild. One of the strongest development coming out of the Dallas is their growing interest in offensive linemen. Internally, there is a belief that a dominance in the trenches must return if this team wants to control a game again. So there is some names consistently linked to the Dallas in this NFL draft. Number one is J.C. Lathan. He is a powerful tackle with innate size and strength. Many insiders believe he can fit in the Dallas Cowboys' physical identity perfectly. The other is Alo Fashanu, a technically polished and extremely reliable in a pass protection, a safe high floor options, a terrace swagger, and a rising prospect with aggression and versatility, capable of playing a multiple position on the line. So there is a whisper that the Dallas could prioritize an offensive lineman even if a flashy skills play is still unavailable. That tells you how serious they are about rebuilding the foundations. The defensive playmaker still on the ladder. A disparate offensive needs, the Cowboys are not ignoring a defense. In the fact, some mock drafts suggest they could go a defense if the right players falls. So there is some key targets which include a cool MC country one of the top cornerback in a class. Known for analytic coverage skills and football IQ, Akopa Dedron, a versatile defensive back who can play in multiple roles including a safety and return specialist. A Jared Verse, a disruptive edge rusher who could instantly upgrade the Cowboys' pass rush rotation. So a Dallas understands that to compete in the today NFL, you need a defenders who can create a turnovers and pressure quarterbacks consistently. A surprise interest in skills position players. Here is where things get interesting. Even thought offensive line and defensive are priorities, Dallas has been quietly linked to explosive offensive weapons. This suggests they may be preparing for a best players available strategy if a star fails unexpectedly. So a name to watch is Brian Thomas Jr., a big play wide receiver with athletic speed and touchdowns potential. The next is Xavier Worth, one of the fastest player in the draft, capable of stretching a defense instantly. And the next is Jonathan Blocks, a dynamic running back who could bring a balance and explosiveness to an offensive. So if the Dallas goes in this direction, it likely means they see a unique talent they simply cannot pass on. So there is some more behind of the scenes about these NFL draft decision makers in the Dallas Cowboy. Everything ultimately cycle back to the owner of the Dallas Cowboy, Jerry Jones. And the Cowboys leadership group report suggests there is a stronger emphasis this year on discipline and sticking to the board rather than making emotional or flashy decisions. So many big decisions are being made on a Dallas Cowboy. And to everyone who has already subscribed, liked videos and shared the channel with others, thank you so much for your support. Means everything, and it helps us to bring you more consistent and highly quality Cowboys contents every single day. Now, before we get into the news, I want to hear directly from you because of your opinion matter here. So when you look at everything that is happening right now in the Dallas Cowboy, how do you honestly feel about the ways the Dallas Cowboy are building this team? Do you believe the front office is making the right move? Or do you see this roster become strong enough to compete for a championship? Or you are still think there are a key area that needs a serious improvement? So your answer is needed in the parts of the comments. So, so are you confident in the leadership, the coaching decisions, and the direction of the team is heading in, or are you still waiting to be convinced? This is the time to speak your mind, so go on down in the comment section and let your voice be heard. We want really opinion, really reaction, and really decisions from our true Cowboys fans. Because of at the end of the day, this is more just a team. This is a community. This is a person, and this is what we bring us all together. So, alright, with all that being said, get ready because today update I'll packed with important information, interesting development, and something you definitely do not want to miss. So let's dive straight into Dallas Cowboy update and see exactly what is going on with an American team, Dallas Cowboy. So the Dallas Cowboys are once again at the center of attention as they aggressively look to reshape their roster with a new move of talent ahead of 2025 2025-26 season. With expectations rising and pressure building around owner Jerry Jones, the front office is exploring a multiple avenues to bring in fresh players who can immediately contribute and elevate the teams back into a serious Super Bowl contention. One of the most talked about names linked to a Dallas Cowboy is Ashton Gentry. He is a dynamic running back out of Boise State, known for his explosiveness, vision, and ability to break tackles. Gentry has quickly climbed draft board and is viewed as a potential game changer in the Cowboys' backfield. Coming from a Boise State Broncos football, he brings a versatile skills set that could completely the current offensive structure led by a quarterback Dak Prescott. Another key prospect the Cowboys are heavily scouting is Xavier Worth from a Texas Longhorns football. Worth is a widely recognized for his innate speed and deep threat ability, making him an ideal candidate to strengthen a defense and open up opportunities for the rest of the offense. Pairing him with established playmaker could significantly improve the Cowboys' passing attack. Defensively, the Cowboys are showing a strong interest in Ajersa Newton, a powerful interior defensive lineman from the Illinois Fighting Illini football. Newton's ability to disrupt the line of scrimmage and apply pressure up the middle makes him a valuable asset for defense that already features stars like Micah Parsons. His addition could make a defensive front even more dominant in NFL. So in the secondary, the Cowboys are evaluating a Cooper DeJean from Joe Hawkins football. DeJean is known for his versatility, capable of playing a cornerback and safety at the high level. His football IQ and playmaking ability have made him one of the most intriguing defensive prospects in upcoming draft. On the offensive line, protecting a Dak Prescott remains a top priority, and Cowboys have their eyes on Tellis Fuaga from Oregon State Beavers. Fuaga's physicality and consistency in pass protection could help to solidify the offense line, an area that has faced inconsistency in a recent season. So the Cowboys are also exploring options at linebacker, including Adrian Cooper from a Texas A&M Aggies football. Cooper brings a speed, tackling ability, and sideline to a sideline range, making him a strong candidate to enhance the team's defensive depth. As the offensive unfolds, it is clear that the Dallas Cowboys are not standing still, but the organization is carefully evaluating talent from across the college football, targeting players who do not only possesses athlete ability but also the mindset and the discipline required to succeed at the professional level. With the leadership of Jerry Jones and the coaching staff, the Cowboys are determined to build a roster capable of competing with the very best in the NFL. So if this potential signing become reality, the Cowboys could be entering a new era defined by a youth, speed, and explosive playmaking on both sides of the ball. So the fans are eagerly watching every move, hoping that this new class of players will finally bring championship glory back to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys found themselves at a crucial turning point as 2026 off-season continues to unfold. With the growing pressure from the fans, analysts, and even within the organization itself to finally translate talent into postseason success. For years, the Cowboys have been one of the most talked about the teams in the NFL, yet their inability to reach the Super Bowl has remained a constant source of frustration. Now, under the leadership of the owner Jerry Jones, the franchise is making a bold and calculated moves aimed at changing that narrative once and for all. At the center of everything remains a quarterback, Dak Prescott, whose future continues to be one of the most closely watched storylines in Dallas. Prescott has shown flashes of unerring performances, consistently putting up a strong number during the regular season, but the questions still linger about his ability to lead the team deep into a playoff. Despite the criticism, the Cowboys organization continues to express confidence in him as their franchise leader, and there is growing belief that with a large supporting cast, so a Prescott can finally break through. One of the biggest areas of focus for the Dallas Cowboy front office have been the offensive side of the ball. After evaluating last season, it became clear that while the team has weapons, there is still a need for a more explosiveness and consistency. The emergence of a CeeDee Lamb as a true number one receiver has been a major positive as he continues to develop into one of the number and receiver has been a major positive as he continues to develop into one of the league most dangerous playmakers. However, the team is actively exploring ways to add another dynamic receiver to complement him and create a more balanced and unpredictable offense. The running game has also been under review, especially after changes in a backfield over the past season. So the Cowboys are looking for a more reliable and explosive rushing attacks that can take pressure off Prescott and control the tempo of the games. This has led to increased scouting activity and a serious consideration of a young running back who can bring a speed and versatility to the offense. Discussions with a Pickens about a long-term deal. If an extension doesn't seem either likely or sensible, a trading Pickens and getting a receiver on a rookie contract could be an option an oxalot. It might not be an option for a Dallas Cowboy where are likely to exercise. However, if prospects like Arizona State, a Jordan Crimson, and Ohio State a Cornell Tate or Mukai Lemon is sitting there, whether a Dallas is on the clock. It's one that could become more appealing, and having a Pickens land with another team while a top receiver comes off the board to the Dallas could certainly send a shockwave through the NFL. Assuming the Cowboys were open to trading a George Pickens, an ideal return would be the first round pick. That's not incredibly likely given his history and the salary he is setting to command. However, that means more realistic return would be a second round selection. So Dallas currently doesn't have selection in a second round, and adding one might allow them to truly rebuild the defensive side of the ball. So there is many reasons why the Cowboys could be comfortable trading a wide receiver, George Pickens. For the Cowboys, trading Pickens wouldn't be completely about the return. While they would be getting more bucks than what they traded for a Pickens in 2025, the real reason they would be open to the move is to avoid paying another receiver high dollar contract after extending a CeeDee Lamb contract in 2024. This is only makes sense. However, if there is a viable wide receiver, perhaps they do not that in Elian Flowner, who had a strong second season in the NFL. If the Cowboys believe a Flowner could take another steps this year, they might be a more comfortably trading a Pickens and adding a more firepower to their defense. The Dallas Cowboys are armed with a two first round picks in 2026 NFL draft. With just 3 weeks until the festivity kicks off on the North Shore in the Pittsburgh, the Dallas has plenty of option when a draft rolls around as it continues looking to improve the roster. A common opinion is that the Dallas Cowboys should use both first-round picks on the star and the defensive prospect to improve their put lead unity, which ranked number 13 overall in the league last season. But what if the team decided to use some extra picks to move around in the NFL draft order? That's exactly what Bruce Feldman of The Athletic suggests for the Cowboys should do. In this latest mock draft, Feldman has the Cowboys making a major trade with Arizona Cardinals to land the player number 3 overall picks in the draft. So you would think the Cowboys would have to give up both first round picks to enter the top 3, right? Not if you are a Feldman. His trade proposal has the Cowboys pulling off the draft day haste that would send the number 12 overall picks and the team third rounder to the Cardinal pick number 3 to land the Texas Tech superstar David Baylor. And also the Dallas Cowboy targets for wide receivers in 2026 NFL draft and mocks. A wide receiver might not be placing needs for the Dallas Cowboys, but they could still consider adding one of these for prospect in the 2026 NFL draft. The NFL draft takes place in 3 weeks, and the Dallas Cowboys currently have 2 picks in the round 1 and 8 selection overall. They are expected to focus on defense early, which makes sense considering this side of the ball was disaster for them in 2025. Head coach Brian Schottenheimer wouldn't rule out an offensive player in round 1, but that feels unlikely unless a premier